Imagine waking up one morning feeling just a little off, tired, maybe a little dizzy. You shake it off. Probably didn't sleep well, you think. Hours go by, maybe even days, and the feeling lingers. But nothing major happens. So you move on. What if I told you that what you just brushed aside might have been a silent stroke? It's one of the most overlooked medical emergencies, quietly affecting the brain without the dramatic signs we usually expect. And the worst part? Many people don't realize it happened until it's too late. Today, we're diving into 10 subtle signs of a silent stroke. Symptoms that are often mistaken for fatigue, stress, or just getting older. This information could literally save a life. Maybe yours or someone you love. So stay with us until the very end. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel. Also like and share with friends and family. This will help us grow and make other amazing videos. The quiet threat no one sees coming. Strokes are no stranger to the headlines. Each year in the United States alone, nearly 800,000 people experience a stroke. Most of us think of them as dramatic events, sudden slurred speech, half the face drooping, or a complete collapse. But here's the scary truth. The majority of strokes are silent. A silent stroke doesn't announce itself with flashing lights and sirens. It sneaks in quietly, damaging parts of the brain without obvious symptoms. And over time, the damage adds up, sometimes showing up later as memory loss, confusion, or even dementia. That's why it's so important to recognize the early whispers of this dangerous condition. Let's talk about the 10 most commonly missed warning signs of a silent stroke. Number 1. Sudden drowsiness that doesn't make sense. Picture this. You're having a conversation, and mid-sentence someone just dozes off. It's not normal sleepiness, it's like a switch flipped in their brain. This type of drowsiness comes out of nowhere, with no long day, no missed coffee, no all-nighter to blame. If someone falls into a deep sleep unexpectedly or can't stay awake during normal daytime activities, especially if it happens more than once, don't ignore it. This kind of unusual fatigue could be a red flag. Number 2, nausea without the usual signs. You feel queasy, maybe you even throw up. But here's the catch, there's no stomach pain, no fever, and no food poisoning in sight. This is the kind of nausea that hits out of the blue, sometimes with dizziness or a spinning sensation like the room's tilting just a little. When nausea appears without a clear cause, and especially if it's paired with other strange symptoms, it might not be your stomach that's the problem. It could be your brain. Number 3, a seizure in someone who's never had one. Imagine being at dinner and someone at the table suddenly stiffens up, or their body jerks uncontrollably. Panic sets in. You call 911. Most people would think of epilepsy, but what if this person has no history of seizures? That could actually be a stroke revealing itself. Some strokes, especially those in specific parts of the brain, can cause seizure-like activity. And if it happens once, it could happen again, unless the root cause is addressed. Number 4, hiccups that just won't stop. You laugh at first, wow, still hiccuping? But hours pass, then days, and they're still happening. Chronic hiccups lasting for long periods are more than just annoying. If they come with numbness, dizziness, or weakness on one side of the body, it's time to take them seriously. Believe it or not, prolonged hiccups can be tied to strokes, especially when they affect certain nerves in the brainstem. Number 5, pain that feels strange or burns. We often think of strokes as numbness or paralysis. But what about pain? Not just any pain. A burning sensation or a weird discomfort that shows up suddenly in the face, one limb, or half of the body. It might come and go, or it might linger for hours. Pain from a silent stroke can be hard to pinpoint, but it's usually unexplained and asymmetric, meaning it affects just one side. never assume it's just a pinched nerve without getting checked. Number 6, fainting that's brushed off. Fainting is surprisingly common and often shrugged off. Low blood sugar, we say. They didn't eat enough. But in older adults or people with risk factors like high blood pressure or heart disease, fainting could be a sign of interrupted blood flow to the brain. Exactly what happens during a stroke. Even a brief blackout deserves a serious look. Number 7, memory lapses that are too specific. We all forget where we put our keys. But what if you forgot an entire conversation or drove home and can't remember the trip? That's more than just being scatterbrained. These memory gaps, especially if they happen suddenly, could signal damage in the areas of the brain responsible for short-term memory. One silent stroke might cause a single lapse, but multiple strokes? That's when you start seeing the early stages of vascular dementia. Number 8, dizziness that doesn't feel normal. We've all stood up too fast and felt a little dizzy. But if dizziness hits you while you're sitting still or comes with the sensation of spinning or imbalance, it could be something more serious. Strokes affecting the cerebellum or inner ear region can lead to this disorienting symptom. And since it doesn't always come with the classic signs, it's often missed. Number 9, disorientation in familiar places. Have you ever looked around your home and suddenly felt lost? You know you should know where you are. You're safe. But in that moment, it doesn't feel like it. This kind of mental fog or confusion, especially if it's temporary and followed by normalcy, is a huge red flag. The brain is misfiring, even if just briefly. That's how some mini-strokes behave, fleeting but dangerous. Number 10, sudden changes in behavior or emotion. Sometimes a stroke doesn't show up in the body, it shows up in the mind. A calm, collected person might suddenly become paranoid, irritable, or even hallucinate. These neuropsychiatric symptoms can be the only visible signs of a silent stroke. If these changes come without a clear psychological cause, and especially if the person is middle-aged or older, don't wait. It's time to see a neurologist. What causes a silent stroke? Now that we know what to watch for, let's ask, what causes a silent stroke in the first place? The biggest culprit? High blood pressure. It weakens artery walls, making them more prone to rupture or blockage. Next up, heart conditions, especially atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that can send blood clots to the brain. Other triggers include diabetes, which damages blood vessels, smoking, which doubles your stroke risk, high cholesterol, obesity, and a sedentary lifestyle. And surprisingly, even untreated infections or inflammation can play a role. Prevention is the best medicine. So what can we do? It starts with awareness. Now that you know the signs, you're already a step ahead. But here are some concrete actions. Manage blood pressure with diet, exercise, and medication. If you have arrhythmia, follow your treatment plan, especially if you're prescribed blood thinners. Other actions you can take: control diabetes and cholesterol, quit smoking, and most importantly, listen to your body. If something feels off, don't wait. Silent strokes are sneaky, but they leave a trail. You just have to know what to look for. Treatments that make a difference. When a stroke is detected early, doctors can act fast to minimize damage. For some, aspirin or other anticoagulants might be prescribed to prevent further clots. In more serious cases, surgery or angioplasty may be necessary. But the best outcomes always come from early detection and prevention. Regular checkups, brain imaging when symptoms appear, and a healthy lifestyle go a long way. Final thoughts. A silent stroke doesn't announce itself with blaring alarms. It whispers, it tiptoes, and sometimes it leaves lasting damage before we ever notice it was there. But now you know what to listen for. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this. You never know whose life you might be saving. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on important health topics like this one. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay informed, stay healthy, and stay safe.